Okay, I should start the interview by saying thank you so much for finding the time to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start at the very beginning. So, how did your love of theatre begin?
Ooh, okay, well, and thank you for having me. My parents were comedians. They met at a theater called the Groundlings in
Hmm.
LA, in the 80s. And so they always kind of like instilled this love for live theater and
Hmm.
comedy, and my sister and I. And so I think my love for theater started really young.
Hmm.
I was very lucky to grow up in a household that just like really embraced the arts and performance. And so we went to go see shows, and we were always very like goofy in the house. And I think theatricality was always just like a big
Hmm.
part of growing up. So yeah, I think my love of theater started pretty young.
Hmm.
And yeah, there's just like nothing like it. I love watching a live show.
And so, how did you get into writing your own stuff? How did you get into sort of creating your own productions?
Yeah, well, I think I guess I didn't really do my own. I kind of was like in the plays growing
Hmm.
up, but I never sort of wrote anything like for myself until this show at Jenna,
Wow.
which was born out of I went on a podcast called Mortified Live, which is this incredible podcast and series and production where people can come on and read their journal entries in front of a live
Hmm.
audience, their journal entries from childhood. And it's the most inviting, loving audience ever. And I was so nervous, and everyone is just so kind. It's like doing stand up without having to get
Hmm.
the audience on your side first, because they're already on your side, because they're already on board with hearing cringe stories about childhood. So anyway, the show was sort of born out of that.
Hmm.
I did a performance on that one, and yeah, I'd never really like written things for myself
Oh.
except for this, so that
Hmm.
this kind of started it.
I feel like I've kind of got to ask, where did your love of The Office begin? How did you fall in love with The Office?
Yes, well, so I talk about this in the show, obviously, but
Hmm.
when I was 11, I discovered The Office. My
Hmm.
dad put on the show one night when my sister and I were spending the night at his house, and The Office sounded like such a boring
Hmm.
show. I was like, I don't want to I'm 11 years old. I don't want to watch a bunch of like adults working in an office and in cubicles. And then I was completely transfixed within the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh my God, this acting is genius. This writing is amazing. And I'm in love with this actress.
Hmm. And just obviously to mention, we are talking about the US office, not whatever the UK did to it.
Okay.
It is
Okay. And you know
abysmal.
what? I need to watch it's so bad.
Hmm.
It's so bad that I'm going to Fringe and I haven't like maybe I shouldn't say this. I need to watch the UK Office like ASAP. I've
No,
watched
you
a lot of
don't.
other. I do though. It's the OG. I've seen a lot of Ricky Gervais's. I watched that show. Oh, what was it called? Extras. Do you
Hmm.
remember that
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Loved that show. And so that makes me think that I would also love the British Office, but the
Hmm.
English Office. Anyway, yeah, I need to do that.
So apart from obviously that show you were talking about where you shared childhood journals, where
hmm
did the idea of Act Jenny start? What made you think, right, this needs to go to the stage?
Well, I think, yeah, outside of that show, I think I was really chuffed to use a to
Ooh.
use an English phrase. I was very like it really touched me how the audience felt connected to the
Hmm.
material, even though I was reading something that felt very obviously personal to me. They were my own entries. I felt so connected with the audience members, and it was so cool talking to people about how they had either similar experiences or it reminded them of something in
Hmm.
their childhood, or like, so it was fun. Ooh, sorry. It was fun to just like chat with people about
Hmm.
their experiences, and it made me realize that maybe the show is more universal and touches on more universal themes than just being about like my own story.
Hmm.
So I think that's what kind of inspired me to be like, oh, maybe I should make this into a longer show, because there's so much material in these journals that writes itself. I'm very lucky that I recorded so much because I don't have to
Hmm.
write as much for the show. It's like already
Hmm.
pre-written when I was 12. Um, so yeah, I think like the audience reaction is what sort of inspired me,
Hmm.
because it was fun chatting with people after.
And obviously, you mentioned they're very personal, very sort of honest stories from your childhood. So, what
Yeah.
is it like bringing those sort of vulnerable sort of moments in your, fundamental upbringing to the stage and sort of showing everyone and opening up to a crowd of people?
And totally. The first time I performed the show, it was a 30-minute version, and I left the stage and was like, "Oh my God." I felt like I had just been like naked for
Mm,
half an hour. I was like, "Oh my God, that was way too much too soon." I was like, I felt like it's I think I forgot. I didn't anticipate that it would affect me the way that it did. It
mm,
made me feel like super weird, like I was embarrassed and I was like, oh my God, maybe I said too much. I went into too much detail. And then I think the more I performed the show and got used to the feeling of like the more honest and vulnerable I am with the audience, the more reward, because it does feel like important, and the whole purpose of the show is to be as honest and open as possible. So I think yeah, performing it the first time though was
mm,
totally like I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" And then I think just the more I did it and the more I could chat with people, the better I felt about it. But
mm,
it certainly is still scary.
mm.
Definitely.
So obviously you mentioned then that obviously we talked about the diaries and then putting it to the stage. What was it like actually taking those diaries and putting them into the sort of production format? So did they fit together nicely? Did they work? Did you have to rewrite? Did you have to amend? What was that experience
Yeah.
like for you?
Definitely. Well, when I worked on Mortified Live, I
Mm,
worked with an amazing producer named Siobhan who helped me place it into correct, like to make it blend, to have kind of like an
mhm,
arc. So then I followed that model and then worked with a lot of other people. I would edit, I would perform a little bit and then go back and edit and perform a little bit and then go back and edit. So, yeah, I definitely had to stitch things together in a way where it wasn't just me reading out to the audience, because that would just be boring. So I had to figure out a sort of theatrical way to pin everything together in a nice, satisfying way that it really tells a story that, like, with the rise and fall of
mm.
characters that I play. And yeah, so that was definitely that took some time figuring out the structure for sure.
Obviously you mentioned there are different characters you play.
Mhm.
What is it like switching between multiple characters as we'll talk about in a bit, the only person on the stage? What is it like switching for you?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's definitely I have a lot of experience doing improv and
Mm,
sketch, so it feels like playing really goofy, outlandish people and using like a lot of physicality is super fun. Being the only one on stage though is tough, just because it's so much fun to have a scene partner
hmm
and to feel supported by someone and get to like lock in and feel that energy between us and the audience. So I do miss that for sure, being alone on the stage. There is an actor off stage,
hmm
that so I feel very supported by him, but I do wish there was somebody on the stage with me, um, for sure. But yes, it's definitely a challenge. As fun as it is, like going back and forth between characters, it also takes like another level of organization in my brain so that I can keep track of who I'm playing and when, in
Mm,
addition to running the tech slides. So
wow.
it's my brain is scrambled eggs at the moment.
So sort of on top of switching between those characters and being the only person on stage, and this being one of your first sort of big productions to take to the Edinburgh Fringe, you also decided, why not? Let's add some multimedia, as you said, slides, to add
Yes.
even more pressure on yourself. So what's it been like sort of implementing that multimedia aspect into your show?
Well, so I've always had videos and photos shown on a projector, but I've always had an
Hmm
incredible technician who is playing the slides and the music cues. There's a lot of dancing in the
hmm
show. So unfortunately, it is such a tech heavy show. And I was advised to just try to figure out how to do the tech myself, just to have
hmm
like full control over the production and to just really get it in my bones. And so I have been doing I have been running the tech on my own with like a clicker. It sort of feels like TED Talky
Well, yeah.
vibe. Like it's the show breaks the fourth wall
hmm
throughout the whole show. I'm breaking the
Akin
fourth
to The
wall. So
Office, as they do in the
yeah.
show.
Oh my gosh, I did not even think about that. Oh my gosh, that's genius. Hang on.
Well, edit that
Hang
in to make
on.
it seem intentional that that's what you planned.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, wait, that's so good. I'm gonna remember that. Um, Yeah, so of course I've added like an insane task. I'm like I'm so stressed out with on top of the lines of the characters and the tech. It definitely adds another
Mm.
thing to the basket. But I think I think if I practice it enough, it'll be
Mm.
okay. I don't know. We'll see.
And but all that sort of hard work and stressing obviously has clearly been worth it because you had an announcement fairly recently that you are heading to the Edinburgh Fringe, the world's
Yes.
biggest theatre festival. So what is it like getting that announcement that you are heading to such a grand event?
Oh, well, thank you. I feel so excited,
Hmm.
so honored also to be performing amongst all the other incredible performers. I
Hmm.
cannot wait to see all of the shows. People have described it to me, it's like the Disneyland for performance.
Hmm.
Like I'm really excited. I've never been to a theater festival. I've been to like improv
Hmm.
festivals but I've never been to yeah, I don't think I have. I've never been to a theater festival, let alone performed in one. So I'm super excited and so nervous.
Mm.
Just for like the newness of it all, but
Mm.
also I've never performed this show this many times in a row.
Mm.
I'm set to perform it 27 days in a
Wow.
row, and I've never done anything 27 days in a row outside of like brushing my teeth. So I'm um really excited and really scared.
Mm. Obviously, I talk to lots of people who are going to the Edinburgh Fringe, and they normally go and scout the year before, or have known someone or have worked with a show the year. Obviously, you're going in kind of completely unknown, as in of what
Totally.
the spectacle of the Fringe is. Does that add
Yes.
pressure to you?
Yes,
Mm.
totally. I don't know what I'm doing. I totally should have scouted. I totally should be going there to like get the lay of the land and like meet people and watch the amazing shows. Instead, I'm like full jumping into the deep end, which I
Mm.
think is good. I think I work best
Mhm.
under that kind of pressure too. So I'm totally going in blind, but a lot of people have been very kind. I've been like set up with a ton of people to get
Mhm.
coffees and phone calls who have given me advice and kind of what to expect.
Mm.
And that has all been super, super helpful just to, yeah, know how like even the first couple days work and
Mm.
like how to advocate for myself and what I need to do. All of the to-dos are the laundry
Mhm.
list of things to, and for prep has been a lot, um, but yeah, I think now I'm getting to a place where I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get there. I
Mhm.
just want to, it's so much anticipation build up.
So obviously you mentioned the prep there. So how are you getting ready for that long journey and that marathon that is the Fringe?
Okay, well, so I cannot sleep on planes. I cannot sleep on
Oh.
planes. So I am like, so I did decide I'm going to take an Advil PM.
Hmm.
I'm going to knock myself out. My first task is to not feel as jet lagged
Hmm.
as I could be. So I think I'm taking vitamin C like it's nobody's business. And yeah, I think just prepare. I think I want to figure out the days that I can
Mm.
rest. Um, and I think taking it day by day, taking it slow, and get as much prep work done on the back end so that once I get there, I can kind of just enjoy the experience and be in the moment instead of having to
Mm.
scramble to do anything that I haven't been doing now. So,
Mm.
um, yeah.
Totally. It's my first experience this year at the Fringe as
Oh,
well. And
fun.
I've been like, right, I want to see everything. I want to go everywhere. And then someone's been like, right, slow it
Right.
down, calm down.
Hang
You're
on. Yeah,
gonna tire yourself out. So
totally.
I'm exactly the same boat as you.
Yes, I've heard that someone told me this, that it's really common when anyone has like a down day, like after the first week, they realize
Mhm.
like, wait, hang on, I need a rest.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to just look out at the sea,
Hmm.
which feels super crazy and exactly what everyone
Hmm.
needs. We all just need to go look at the ocean for a while and then we'll be back.
So we are coming to the end of my questions, but I do have a couple more. So I know we've obviously talked about the show and where it's come from, but how would you describe At Jenna to someone who's never heard of it before?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give the little like two sentence pitch that I
Hmm.
say is it is an autobiographical one woman show about how Pam from The Office was my gay awakening when I was 11. So it incorporates journal entries throughout the show that are my real journal entries, and it's comedic and it's a poignant coming of age.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how I describe it.
Oh, amazing. If people are interested, where can they get tickets and where can they stay up to date with you?
They can get tickets on
Hmm.
Edinburgh Fringe's website as well as the C Venue's website.
Hmm.
I'm doing at Jenna at the Aquila Studio.
Hmm.
And I also have an Instagram page called at Jenna the Play, and the
Hmm.
tickets are in my bio.
I'll put all the links in the comments below so people can scroll down and click away.
Oh,
But my
thank you.
final question is, what advice do you have for young performers looking to do what you do?
Oh, wow. Good question. I would say remain, oh God, this is such a cliche, but I really do think that whatever makes you feel inspired, what gives
Hmm.
you chills, what makes you laugh, you cry, like I think you have to figure out what about a performance
Hmm.
uh brings the inspiration to you instead of trying to fit yourself into what you think people will laugh at, what you think people will cry at or have a reaction to. I think it's best to try to follow your heart. Follow
Mm.
your heart, do what feels most authentic to you because that's what people really want to see. They want to
Mm.
see honesty and they want to see real people.
And it doesn't get more honest than showing your diary entries from 11 to a group of people.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Fantastic. So I said at the beginning, but I'll end the same way. Thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. As
Thank
I
you,
mentioned,
Reese.
I'll put the links in the comments below so people can scroll down and click away. And I obviously wish you the best of luck at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I shall speak to you soon.